In this video, I'm going to give softball pitchers and batters a routine of exercises to loosen up the hips and turn up the stability in both the core and the hips for optimal pitching and batting performance. For batters, this is going to improve utilization of power out of the back hip and stability on the front side. The same goes for pitchers as well. This is going to improve your explosive push away from the rubber and also stability of that stride leg, which is going to contribute to your command and velocity throughout the remainder of the delivery. The three areas that we're looking to loosen up in the legs are the front of the hip flexors and quads, the back of the hip, the glutes or the butt muscles, and the hamstrings, all which can really restrict when tight motion in the hip that we need to exhaust for pitching and batting performance. First exercise is going to require a foam roller, and if you don't have one, we have them available through our store on fastpitchpower.com, or you can go to a department sporting goods store and probably pick one up. You don't have to get the big one, you can get the small travel size as well. First exercise, we're just going to roll slowly our quadricep muscles and hip flexors, biasing one leg and biasing the outside of the thigh, all the way up to the pocket, slowly down to above the kneecap. Once you can tolerate rolling slowly up and down the leg, I want you to pause, beginning at the top of the thigh. I want you to open up and roll against the grain of those muscles, slowly opening up and closing off. You can work your way down the thigh, wherever you're most sensitive or you feel there's the most tension, opening and closing. You want to spend 30 seconds to a minute on each leg and then move to the next exercise. I'd like you to spend on a daily basis at least 5 to 7 minutes of utilizing these self-massage strategies if you haven't done so before. Your body will increase their tolerance to these the more you do them. At the beginning, it's going to be very sensitive, your body's going to be very tight, but this will help relieve tension fairly quickly. Next exercise, you're going to sit on your butt on the foam roller. Rotate your body so all of your weight's on the back, outside of the back hip or the back pocket, where the back pocket would be on jeans. You're going to cross your leg over like a figure four, and you're going to roll the outside of your hip. Dads, coaches, moms, if you have a foam roller, try this as well so you know what your athletes are experiencing. If you have back pain, if you have knee pain, these are great exercises to help loosen up tight muscles around the lower back and hips that can refer tension to other parts of the body. Roll the hips. Again, 30 seconds to a minute on each side. We're doing both sides. For the sake of time, I'm only doing one. And lastly, you're going to do your hamstring, specifically the outside of the hamstring. Slowly roll, biasing one leg here, all the way down to the knee, all the way up, to the butt muscles, focusing on the outside of that leg. You really want to relax this leg, and not fight. Don't fight the foam roller. 30 seconds. Next exercise, I'm using a lacrosse ball. This is my best tool for this exercise, but if you have a new tennis ball, that might work as well. The lacrosse ball works because it's a little bit stickier, has a little bit more friction, it's going to stay in place. You're going to put this lacrosse ball under your back pocket, under your butt. The first thing you're going to do is just sit on it. So I'm kind of at an angle, turned on top of the ball, and I'm just going to try to relax as much as possible as that ball presses into my glute muscles. From here, you can begin to move your body in circles. Both knees are bent, this leg is turned out. Move your body in circles around that back pocket area. And with all these exercises, you're doing both sides of the body. Do this sets of 30 seconds, 30 rolls. You can switch sides. Do it 2 to 4 times each side daily. To upgrade that exercise, you're going to extend one leg, keep it bent, but instead of moving your body, you're going to pin that ball into the ground, and you're going to turn. You're going to, again, internally rotate. An important movement for rotational athletes, trying to release those muscles in the hip. These are exercises that every athlete can benefit from, regardless of position, regardless of level. And if you're a parent or coach, try these as well. Okay, rotating the leg and pinning the ball down. The next exercise is a stretch for the hip flexors and quadricep muscles. If you have a foam roller or something to elevate your foot on, prop your back leg up like I am here on the foam roller. In this position, you're going to drive your knee down into the ground. You're not extending or leaning back. In this position, you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to push my knee through the ground. That's the cue. Athletes will react differently to this exercise dependent upon their physical limitations. If they're super tight in the front of the hip, they'll feel a big stretch. Okay? Even if you're not super tight in the quad, this is a good activation exercise for the glutes. You could feel that as I'm driving my knee down here, I'm really working this back hip. Okay, my glute is turned on, it's engaged, and I'm getting a stretch myself in the front of the thigh. Another version of this, and this is a great exercise to reinforce good glute activation during linear type sport movements, specifically for pitching, to exhaust full hip utilization, all right, is to pick my back toes up, I'm going to push my back toes into the ground, I'm going to push my knee down to the ground, I'm going to feel that glute engage, and now I should feel even more of a stretch in the front of the hip. Again, I'm not substituting through my lower back, I'm trying to exhaust range of motion in my hips. And if you're super tight, that's why I want dads and moms and coaches to try this too, because you guys will have more restriction. Your tightness will be more obvious. Okay, so you'll really feel what you want your kids to feel. If you're super tight, your butt will kind of stay back, and you're going to see an angle here from between the thigh and the upper body. Or we're looking to drive the butt forward, push the knee down to the ground, and push back into those toes as hard as you can, and hold 10 to 30 seconds, okay? 2 to 5 times, all right, and do both sides. That is to engage the glutes and to loosen up the front side of the thigh. After we use self-massage exercises like the foam roller, the lacrosse ball, and we stretch a little bit, specifically the front of the hip, which is commonly tight in most athletes, it's time to turn up the stability and wake up the muscles that control the alignment of our pelvis and in our leg and in our hip. And we're going to do that using exercise to strengthen the glutes and core. First exercise is a hip bridge, which you might have seen before on the site, with my palms down on the ground. Okay, I'm going to lift my legs up, thinking about keeping my abs tight. I don't want to, again, substitute by pushing my belly to the ceiling. I want to keep my abs tight and flat, and I want to push my thighs and my pockets up to the sky, squeezing my backside. I prefer holds of 5 to 10 seconds, 3 to 5 reps. Okay, and you can do that. You can do 3 to 5 reps for 3 to 5 sets with a break in between or another exercise alternated in between. Hip bridge up, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your hamstrings, keep your abs tight, and down. Okay, to upgrade that exercise, you work on single leg hip bridge. Again, trying to fire up the glute here. You should feel this primarily in your butt muscles, in your glutes, and secondary in your hamstrings. Single leg hip bridge, up, pushing into the ground, squeezing my butt as hard as I can, holding 5 to 10 seconds, and down. 3 to 5 reps per side. Again, 2 to 5 sets either on its own as a workout or alternated with another exercise like this. Okay, side plank, which you've seen on the site, holding your body in a straight line. I'm not only working my core, I'm working the side of my hips. You should be squeezing your glutes. Maintain a nice straight line from your head through your heels. To upgrade this exercise, take the top leg and march, bend the knee, and hold. Okay, you can do that top leg march for reps, or you can hold 5 to 10 seconds. Last exercise, using my foam roller. This is really going to challenge rotary stability, okay, which is going to be specific for rotational athletes. Rotary stability and control around the hips. It's going to be a version of a front plank. I'm using a 2.5-pound plate as my own little self-coach here. I'm going to put that 2.5-pound plate on my butt. And what you don't want to see is that when I take my arm off the ground, all right, this plate falls off. So you can coach your athletes to imagine having something on their lower back. You can put something on their lower back. Imagine having a hot cup of coffee on their lower back or their butt. We want to keep their pelvis square. We're working on control of the core. In this position, plate on the butt, hand on the foam roller, roll out, keep everything square. Okay, as soon as you see your athletes start to open up and get weak, okay, it's time to regress the exercise. You can regress by going back to a simple front plank, push your hands down hard into the ground, hold for time, okay, and then again, progress to this rollout. Front plank foam rollout, hips square. (10 to 15 rolls, 2 to 3 sets daily or before your pitching or hitting lessons or after as a workout. The last exercise I'm going to show you is an active, dynamic exercise which works on not only mobility but stability and single leg strength as well. So after we use the foam roller, the lacrosse ball, we stretch our hips, we activate our hips, we activate our core, we then get on our feet and do something specific to coordinate all the muscles, and hopefully they now use that improved capacity or activation and mobility from our ground exercises. Okay. This is going to be a single leg balance exercise, right, into single leg Superman, all right, with support from my bench, or you can use whatever you need. From here, assisting my body with the bench, I'm going to open up my hips so they're pointing at you, and then from here, staying keeping my back leg long, I'm going to drive my hips around that stance hip. Open up, close, stand up, and balance. Reach, single leg Superman, okay, grab onto the bench or support, open up, close, single leg balance. Reach, open up, close, single leg balance. A single leg balance into a single leg Superman, 8 to 10 reps on each leg. If you have a question or a comment, please post it below. If you have a question, other readers probably will too. If I've talked so much, if I missed something, if I stumbled upon some specific details that you want clarified, I'm more than happy to do so. Hope you enjoyed all this information. You try out the exercise regardless if you're an athlete, a dad, a coach, a mom. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting our site, and I'll talk to you next week.